Okay, it's time to put this video out there. This is a video that I've wanted to do for a while because modern day football fans have certain traits or certain usages of information or whatever it may be that absolutely frustrates and annoys me about the modern day football fan. They tend to do things or say things just for attention. It seems to be whoever can get the most views, the most likes on a certain thing, and it needs to be called out. So this video is going to be 5 of the worst traits that I find in modern day football fans. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, that is basically it for today's video. 5 big traits of football fans in the modern day that I completely dislike. I'm sure you have your own kind of opinions on this too. Maybe you just don't get annoyed or triggered by anything on this kind of list, but this is what really annoys me about football fans in the modern day and the modern age. And I'm sure that some of it may resonate with you, some of it may not. But I'm interested to know your take on anything that I do talk about in this video. But without further ado, I would like to remind us, please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, get involved in the comment section, like I say, for anything that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So without further ado, let's kick things off with number 5. And I guess this is in no particular order, but wild takes for the sake of it. Wild takes for the sake of it. And I'm not saying they sometimes don't cause debate and intrigue amongst the football fan community, because let's face it, sometimes they do. But wild takes for the sake of it, just for clicks, views, likes, what's that all about? What is that all about? Claiming something like Scott McTominay is better than Zinedine Zidane and then stating change my mind at the end of it, or something along those lines, is a wild take for the sake of it. We all know Zinedine Zidane is much better than Scott McTominay, but things like that annoy me. And I'm just plucking a random example out of the air. I'm sure if you go across any kind of social media, mainly Twitter, because that's where they mainly live, these weird football fans, there's going to be debates and there's going to be takes just like that. And it annoys me because it's not there's no kind of substance behind it. I don't even think the person who would say such a thing actually would believe it. I just think they're trying to get notoriety within the football fan base community, and they're just saying it for the sake of engagement. They're saying it for the sake of people engaging with them. And I'm not saying all football fans do this. I want to just make that clear. I'm not saying all football fans do this. I'm just saying that certain football fans in the modern era do stuff like this. And the first one on the list is just wild takes for the sake of saying wild takes. Combined 11s, for example. I saw one the other day that was an all-time Premier League 11 that featured about 7 Liverpool players or something. I'm a Liverpool fan. I love Liverpool so much. But 7 Liverpool players. Andy Robertson over Ashley Cole, one of the best left-backs in the Premier League. I just can't be having that. And I just can't be having it. It's just wild takes for the sake of wild takes. And again, there can be a bit of banter be thrown in there as well. I'm going to get onto football banter. But at the same time, I think it's mainly for views, it's mainly for likes, and everybody bites. Everybody bites, and it frustrates the hell out of me that people like that get engagement like that. It's so stupid in my opinion. Number 4, we might as well come on to it now, is football banter. Football banter. Now, I'm not saying all banter, because let's face it, banter is part and parcel of being a football fan. Some banter, if timed perfectly, like a Zinedine Zidane volley in a Champions League final, can be beautiful. It can absolutely be beautiful to see, beautiful to watch, and it's all about timing as well as obviously the banter fitting perfectly. However, when it's banter constantly and it's banter all the time and it's just the same banter over and over again in a repetitive nature. So we can all banter Spurs every now and again for, where's your trophy? Where's your trophy? But after a while it does get a bit boring and repetitive. When they're trying to build something, when they're trying to obviously go through a cycle of maybe one day getting to a point where they can challenge for a big domestic or big European trophy, going, where's your trophy, after they celebrate a big win against a top rival, isn't banter, it's just stupidity. It's just not seeing the bigger picture. And then banter for the sake of banter loses the edge of banter because you've said it so many times. I hope I'm explaining this correctly here. But football banter for me has its time, has its place, and like I say, has its moment. And you can always have football banter, because if it wasn't for football banter, this place would be boring. It would be just full of statisticians and people going, well, as you can see, so-and-so has 47 goals in 57 games. That is fantastic, and that's phenomenal, and that should not be overlooked. Boring. We need banter, but we don't need it all the time. We need a balance of both. We need a balance of stats and knowledge and intellect and also what we see on the eye, as well as a bit of banter thrown in there, because some of the best bits are about banter and about having fun and about having a funny moment. So if we can combine the two, that would be great. Not all the time, but some of the time, it would be great. It would be really great. And those are kinds of what I like about football discussions and about football debates, when we can throw in a bit of banter every now and again, and if it's timed beautifully, more the better. But if we can have an intellectual, knowledgeable discussion about it as well, in which we both may learn something, or the group may learn something, as well as obviously have a bit of a laugh and a joke, that would be perfect as well, in my opinion. So, football banter to me, not all of it, because some of it actually is funny, some of it actually is good, and again, when you see it online, and you occasionally will see someone just tweet an absolute beauty of a line to reply to somebody for banter effects, whether it be a club, whether it be a fan, whoever, it is beautiful to watch. It is really beautiful to watch. So, football banter to me is a bit 50-50, or maybe more 75-25. I don't know, something along those lines. But you get what I mean. Next up is Mickey Mouse Cups. Now, this can tie in a little bit to football banter as well. Mickey Mouse Cups. So, for example, in English football, we have the League Cup, which is seen as a Mickey Mouse Cup, unless you, of course, go on and win it. A lot of football fans claim that this competition is not of high priority, and I understand where they're coming from to an extent on this. But at the same time, the League Cup is a historic cup that has been in English football for a long, long time, and it is a cup that is winnable very early on, well, pretty early on in the season. Around that February time usually is when the final takes place, and it normally can have a big effect on the team that actually goes on to win it. Now, it's normally a team that is going on to win bigger things, with all due respect, like Champions Leagues or Premier Leagues or whatever the case may be. But the idea that football fans see this as a Mickey Mouse Cup when they're out of it is a joke. So, for example, Liverpool fans celebrated it a few years ago when we won it at the expense of Chelsea. A year later, Man United fans won that same competition, and certain Liverpool fans were saying, don't get ahead of yourself, it's only a smaller cup, whatever. I'll call out my own fan base on that one because I did see it. But, alternatively, I also did see a lot of Man United fans claim the same thing this year when Liverpool won the Carabao Cup. So, Liverpool won the Carabao Cup. United fans were very quick to go, ooh, calm down, it's only a Carabao Cup. You haven't won anything major yet. But they were the same United fans that were celebrating a lot when they beat Newcastle in the competition in last year's final. So which one is it, guys? Because it's either a big... And again, it could fall into football banter. But it's terrible banter. It really is terrible banter because it's like you take it seriously until you're out of it. And I get it's not exactly the highest priority on anybody's list. I get that everybody, given the choice of a Premier League title or a Champions League title over a Carabao Cup, I know people are taking the Premier League or the Champions League title. I get that. But for certain teams, that may be what they're going to win mainly. You know, teams like, maybe like a West Ham, for example. Teams like, maybe... I know that obviously they won the Conference League last year, but you get what I mean. Like maybe even teams like an Everton, for example, or teams like a Nottingham Forest, or teams like that. It's not a Mickey Mouse Cup to them because it might be the only silverware that they win for a while. You know, then they don't have an illustrious amount of riches like the top six do of the Premier League that are going to be there or thereabouts, winning trophies season upon season. So, you know, just have a bit of respect and thought for those kinds of teams in that kind of scenario, because it's still a cup. It's still a piece of silverware. It still adds up to your trophy collection when you win it. So, to call it a Mickey Mouse Cup, I think is stupid. I think it's dead banter, and it's completely ridiculous in my opinion. So, have a bit more respect for it. Understand that, okay, maybe it's not of high priority, but don't try and disrespect it by calling it a Mickey Mouse trophy. It's not good banter. It's dead, and it's ridiculous. So, it is what it is. Number 2 on the list is Gen Z Stat Merchants. Now, this is what I've been seeing a lot more of in recent times. I don't even know if you can call them like Gen Z Stat Merchants, but someone said it on Twitter once, and I was like, yeah, I'm running with this. I'm running with how he's worded it here. Gen Z Stat Merchants. And it seems that, like I say, it is growing in popularity, this stupid phase. And again, I guess it could tie into wild takes as well. Because I already did use an example of a wild take and certain Gen Z Stat Merchants. People are starting to compare the modern day player with players of older eras, shall we say. One example that I found most recently, and again it's growing this, is Marcus Rashford is a bigger Premier League legend than Thierry Henry. And he used goals and assists as a measuring stick. As a measuring stick. To prove that. Not trophies, by the way. Not like Henry's won a Premier League title. He's gone invincible. He's done this. He's done that. No. Goals and assists. What the hell kind of world are we looking at here? Now again, it could fall into wild takes. It could also fall into banter. Does he actually believe what he's saying by saying Rashford is better than Thierry Henry? I don't fully know. Maybe he was looking again at getting some engagement and getting some sort of popularity from it in terms of likes, clicks, follows, whatever the case may be. But it's so stupid. It's so stupid to think that a Premier League legend like Thierry Henry is being disrespected, being compared to Marcus Rashford, simply for the reason that in the modern day and age, he scored more goals than Thierry Henry. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? This is why I hate things like football social media and football fan banter, because you get people like this coming out with these kinds of stupid takes. And like I said, I don't know whether he truly believes it or not. I don't know whether he was doing it for engagement. But part of me wants to believe that he actually said it to be genuine and legitimate. And I'm seeing it more and more. I'm seeing people disrespect the likes of Henry. I'm seeing people disrespect legends like Didier Drogba. I'm seeing people disrespect the likes of Steven Gerrard and, you know, just everybody that I grew up watching, or you grew up watching, or Premier League legends just in general just being disrespected at the hands of the modern day football fan who thinks that just because they didn't get enough goals, just because they didn't get enough assists, they weren't that good of a player. It's like, dude, you're 12 years old. You're 12 years old. How would you know how any of them players played in their prime? You have no idea. It's a madness to me. And like I say, I'm seeing it more and more. And it's just terrible football takes for the sake of terrible football takes, for the sake of stat merchant. Being a stat merchant, looking at the goals and this. We need to apply more context to things, and I will say it here and now, like, I think every football fan, including myself, of course, can maybe take a bit more from adding context to certain stats. Stats are important, but they don't tell the entirety of the story. You also need to apply context to certain things. So I think we can all take a leaf from that kind of particular book, but at the same time, just the level of disrespect that I see some of the greats that I grew up watching get, just because they played in an older era with different times, different rules, different rule changes, and obviously different kinds of technology back then that we've advanced to now. It's a joke to me. It's an absolute joke. And finally, the worst kind of fans. Well, actually, honourable mention goes to United Trey on Twitter, because that guy is absolutely insane. That guy, I don't understand why it comes up on, like, I'm not following him, but he, like, comes up on, like, oh, you may want to follow this guy, and then puts, like, a selection of tweets out. Yeah, that guy's insane. That guy is absolutely insane with some of his takes, and then some of his wording of things he gets put into context, and then he's like, oh, this is stupid, the reply on this is stupid. Just shut up, mate. How you've got a million fans is an absolute joke. Player FC. The last one, Player FC. The worst kind of fans, without a doubt. Player FC, and we've all got them in some cases, small minority of cases. Some have got it much worse than others, admittedly, but Player FC are the worst types of modern day fans. They are they are fans that do not support teams. They don't support clubs. They will support players, and rather than look at the bigger picture and go, well, I want my club to win the Premier League, I want my club to win the Champions League, I want my club to win the FA Cup. Instead they go, I want my player to win the Champions League, I want my player to win this, I want my player to do this, and in their eyes they can do nothing wrong. If I was Player FC, I'd have been following Michael Owen when I was 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. I'd have been following him from Liverpool to Real Madrid to Manchester United to Newcastle to Stoke. I might have got them mixed up. He went Newcastle first, didn't he? I think he went Newcastle, then Man United. It doesn't matter. Either way, I'd be following him to all of those different clubs rather than be the Liverpool fan I am today. I did not want to do that. I supported Liverpool, wanted to support Liverpool, weren't following it simply for one particular player. How has this become a thing in the modern day and modern era? How? How has Player FC become a modern day tradition for certain football fans? Explain this one to me, please. Because I don't get it. I really do not get it. How this can be a thing. It's mad to me. It's mad to me. You've got people out there that, and I see it in the Man United fan base mainly, people that are following the likes of Anthony Martial and Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. And I'm thinking, if that happened in the Sir Alex Ferguson era, he'd call it out straight away. He'd call it out straight away and be like, what the hell are you guys doing? Get behind the team. Not just one or two particular players who, in your opinion, can do no wrong. They're the kind of players that go on the pitch and have an absolute stinker of a 90 minutes. But then people will go, well, what about Maguire? What about Onana? What about Lindelof? they don't take responsibility for it. They can do nothing wrong in their eyes. They're perfect. And like I said, I think it happens in all fan bases, not just United. I'm sure Liverpool have them in certain small doses as well, of people that are like, well, I like Trent Alexander-Arnold and I can't see nothing wrong with him. Or I like Andy Robertson, I can't see nothing wrong with him. I like Mo Salah, I can't see when he has a performance which isn't to quite the same level as what he normally does tend to produce. Arsenal fans, I'm sure, have it with Saka. Saka's a star boy. Saka's world class according to certain Arsenal fans. Not in my opinion yet. He's not at a world class level yet, but he could certainly get there. But certain Arsenal fans, I'm sure, will tell me he's world class. He's this, he's that, he's the other. He can do no wrong. He's a star boy after all. City fans with players like Foden and Haaland and De Bruyne. I'm sure we all have them. But at the end of the day, are we supporting the team, the club, or are we supporting the player as its sole, as the sole person? It's the club, it's the team, it's them all day friggin' long. So, and that's just the most annoying part of a modern day fan, in my opinion. Look, I had to get this off my chest because it has been annoying me. Every time I open Twitter, it just seems like I accumulate another sort of example of one of these types of modern day fans that I absolutely hate. Like I say, it's not all of it. Like, for example, the football banter side of things. Look, all football banter is welcome in its dosage, but when you're doing it constantly, not good. But there we go. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Do you think you kind of resonated with what I was saying a little bit? Do you think I'm completely out of line and that I should just shut up myself? I'd love to know what you guys think and feel on this particular subject with your comments down below. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings. I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down there. So I encourage you to please get involved. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.